Full shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can put all that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yes, what's going on, people, man? We are back in the building and we're here with some transfer news. You guys can, of course, see in the caption, you can see in the thumbnail, and it's Marcus Rashford. Oi, 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 oi. The man from Manchester, Jesus Christ, man. It's been a crazy few months, probably even years for someone like Marcus Rashford, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I think, you know, looking at it on the face of everything, you know, coming through the academy and stuff like that, you know, there's all of this kind of talk, you know, in terms of, you know, one of our own, that kind of stuff, you know, all that kind of vibe, right? And it makes sense, as it should be. You know, one of your own, they come through, they live out the dream that, you know, so many, you know, young children, you know, that they have, you know, when they support a football team and stuff like that. And Marcus Rashford was able to, you know, to live that. He was able to live that kind of, well, he's been able to live that kind of life. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which way you kind of want to see it, he's now, you know, officially a Aston Villa player, albeit on loan, to be fair, albeit on loan. But yeah, it's a crazy one, man. It's a crazy one. Look, Fabrizio's obviously posted it out. Agreement is in place on a loan deal with over 70% salary covered by Aston Villa. There is a buy option clause worth £40 million, also included in the contract, with a potential 3.5-year deal to follow. Now, that in itself, you know, it's mad. Like, I did a video, hopefully you guys go and check it out, man, you know, speaking about Marcus Rashford. Now, this was obviously earlier on when Ruben Amorim obviously just kind of come in, and the kind of vibe with Amorim, I'll be honest, like in terms of Rashford and Amorim, it didn't really look like, you know, things were too gravy, if I'm being 100% honest with you. You know, you could obviously, listen, Rashford is Rashford, right? So of course there comes this status when it got like that's the way I look at it. And again, I'm an outsider looking in, right? So of course Manchester United fans will be able to tell you guys a lot better. But from the outside looking in, there comes this kind of status with someone like Marcus Rashford. You know, the things that he's done outside of football, and I'm talking about, you know, the feeding the kids and just the type of person that he actually is. Now, I'm not talking about the person that the newspapers tell you that he is. I'm talking about the ones who actually know Marcus Rashford and stuff like that, right? Then, of course, there comes the, you know, the managers that he's played under, you know, the Louis van Gaal, of course, giving him in his debut, should I say, sorry, you know, now playing under, you know, Ruben Amorim, Ten Hag, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, there's been so many different managers. It's always going to be difficult for a player, I feel anyway, to be able to really progress as an individual, because you're playing under so many different managers, so many different styles. On top of that, you're still working your way up the football kind of chain in itself. You know, this isn't a 20, like at the time anyway, you know, someone who's 25 and he's been experienced in terms of playing under, like, I don't know, a great manager, for example, and then now he's in this kind of position. This is a guy who kind of had to learn as he, you know, just like any young player, right? Learn as they kind of go along. And the fact that Manchester United are in this bad place as a football club in general isn't going to help him. But of course, I'm not trying to let him slide as well. Ultimately, we're still talking about a player who at times, man, this guy is just not been performing. Like, there's been games, I mean, this season, like, in terms of the GA, it's okay, but in a general sense, I'd say in the last, I would say about 3 seasons, I would say, where I've watched Marcus Rashford and I've just thought to myself, this something ain't right. Do you know what I mean? Like, something just ain't right, you know, with Marcus Rashford, you know, at this kind of, you know, current moment in time. And it's so weird. I mean, we're talking about the guy who's the 12th, you know, all-time, you know, goal scorer for Manchester United, you know, 134 goals, could be more. I don't know how old or new, you know, necessarily, you know, this actually is, but, you know, you can see here, you know, on the screen, you know, in terms of 100, what it says 138 goals, you know, 63 assists in that time. You know, that's a lot. you know what I mean? You're talking about, give or take, what's that, like 200 GA, if my maths is correct-ish. Yeah, around about 200 GA, 201 GA in 426 games. That's a good record. That's a good record. So it's weird, right? Because it's almost like we've been watching Marcus Rashford and we've watched him grow up. We've watched his debut, you know, scoring, you know, on his debut and all that kind of stuff. So it's like when we've watched him grow from this young player to now the player that we, you know, we see today. Yeah, honestly, in a football sense, it's kind of sad to see. I'll be so honest. It is actually kind of, you know, kind of sad to see. And he's played left wing, centre forward, right wing, attacking midfield, second strike. He's played so many different, you know, forward positions for Manchester United. Obviously, left wing being the most predominant, but of course, centre forward, you know, as well. And he's got quite a lot of goals actually, you know, in that position in itself. But it's just, honestly, I don't know, man. For Marcus Rashford's sake, let's just hope that this just goes well, right? Let's just hope you go to Aston Villa. It's a fresh start. It's a new team. There is no loyalty to you in the sense of you're not one of their own. So fans, and again, like I say, speak to Manchester United fans, but fans are not going to sit there and give you the blight that, you know, you potentially feel that you should have or would have and all these kind of things. So where there's that blight been taken away from everything, now it's really like, yo, I really need to, you know, I need to go out there and do this thing for myself. There isn't the safety net of, you know, being at Manchester United. Everything that I know, everything that I've loved, you know, coming through the system and stuff like that, that's not there anymore. You know, that's really not there. So from when that's not there, that's when we do have to now start looking at it and trying to see, is this a player that can get himself back to the kind of levels that we were seeing, you know, a few seasons back. You know, we remember, you know, against PSG, you know, scoring against, you know, Kylian Mbappe's team. You know, that's the Marcus Rashford I remember. And to be honest with you, the way people were talking about it at that period of time, especially Marcus Rashford, Kylian Mbappe, similar players in terms of the positions that they like to play, you know, off that left-hand side, and similar kind of traits as well. When you do look at the two players, you think to yourself, both quick, both got skills, both can find the back of the net, you know, both at the time being consistent. Obviously, Mbappe scoring, you know, a ton of goals, but Rashford as well. Rashford was doing his thing, and it's just weird now seeing him in this kind of position where you're like, I don't even know what kind of Rashford that I'm realistically going to get, you know, at this current moment in time. I don't know if I'm going to get the Rashford that we saw, as I mentioned, a few seasons ago, who was getting, what was it, like 30 goals, I believe, give or take, in and around that, them kind of numbers. Are we going to get that kind of guy, or are we going to get the Rashford that we've been seeing, who's, I think, getting like 5s and 6s and, you know, not really looking too good and looking quite lethargic and stuff like that? Are we going to get that, you know, that type of player? And I think, as I said before, going to Aston Villa, now playing, you know, under Unai Emery instead now, a very experienced manager, very experienced coach, a guy who's been around, you know, for a long time, been there, done that, all of that kind of stuff. Maybe this might help him, you know. And again, it's just that whole feel of a fresh vibe. I feel like that's going to be what serves him best at this current moment in time. Now, again, he's still got to get into the team. I don't know if he's an automatic starter again. I don't know where he's at, you know, at this current moment in time. But this feels like it could potentially be a good move. And again, Aston Villa is still a big club, but they're not as big as Manchester United. The spotlight's not on you every single week when he goes out, you know, with his friends, when he goes on holiday, when he does anything. This guy sneezes and the whole of the media are like, oh my goodness, look at the way he sneezed. He sneezed in the wrong way. We don't do that. It's like, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't let the guy rest whatsoever. And I just think that this might be the move, you know, that we look at and think, okay, now he's been able to kind of, if I'm being honest, resurrect your career. You know, you're at a better team at this current moment in time, first and foremost, that we have to get that clear, because Manchester United are well below an Aston Villa in terms of quality and as a football club in a general sense. So they're more on the upward trajectory, if anything, whereas Manchester United, we don't know what they're at this moment in time. We don't know, are they a club on the trajectory? We don't know, are they a club stuck in the mud? Are they moving sideways? We have no idea. New manager, new ideas. They just lost the other day. It's all crazy, you know, with Manchester United at this current moment in time. So yeah, I think fresh start for Marcus Rashford. Let's see how he does. Of course, listen, he's still got to perform. You know, he can't be living off of those, you know, a few seasons, but he can't live off that anymore. Right now, it's a new, fresh start, new, fresh fans as well, who are obviously going to give him time, I assume, you know, to kind of get back into the swing of things, but not too much time. Still needs to do his thing. But let's wait and see, man. Let's wait and see. But you got your here we go moment. Marcus Rashford moving on loan to Aston Villa for the remainder, excuse me, of the season. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, people. Is this a good move for Marcus Rashford? Is it a good move for Aston Villa? Is it a good move for Manchester United? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, people, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.